Snow fell heavily that night, blanketing the city streets in white silence. Most people hurried home, their coats pulled tight, eager to escape the freezing air. But in the corner of a dimly lit alley, two small figures huddled together, shivering. They were twin sisters and no more than 10 years old, sharing a single oversized coat between them. Their tiny bodies trembled, their lips blue, yet they clung to each other with the kind of love only desperation can forge. "Don't let go," whispered the older twin, her arms wrapped tightly around her sister. "If we stay close, we'll be warm." But nothing could stop the icy wind that cut through them like knives. They had been abandoned by the very people meant to protect them, and now they had only each other and one thin coat against the storm. That's when a sleek black car slowed nearby. From the tinted window, a man's sharp eyes caught sight of the two fragile shapes in the snow. Alexander Carter, a Millionaire CEO, was known for his cold decisions in the boardroom. He had built an empire with iron discipline, but in his heart was a hollow ache, a void left by a daughter he lost years ago. Normally, he never stopped for anyone, but that night, something inside him stirred. He stepped out, the cold biting through even his expensive wool coat. Approaching the girls, he saw their eyes widen in fear. "Please," one of them whispered, "don't take us away. We're not bad." His chest tightened. These were not thieves or troublemakers, they were children fighting to survive. He knelt down, his breath clouding in the frosty air. "You're safe," he said softly. "Come with me." At first, the girls hesitated. Life had taught them to trust no one. But the warmth in his voice cut through their fear. He draped his own coat over their shivering bodies, scooped them into his arms, and carried them into his car. The driver glanced in the mirror. Shakita Alexander Carter, the man famous for never letting emotion cloud his judgment, was cradling two homeless children like the most precious treasure in the world. At the hospital, doctors rushed to warm the girls, treating their frostbitten hands. All the while, Alexander stayed by their side. The younger one, half asleep, murmured, "Why are you helping us?" "No one ever does." He swallowed hard before replying, "Because I once failed to save the little girl I loved most. I won't fail again." The next days changed everything. Instead of returning to his sterile mansion alone, Alexander opened his home to the twins. He learned their names as Lily and Rosia, and for the first time in years, his house echoed with laughter. The girls, who had survived on scraps and fear, now sat at a warm table, their hands wrapped around bowls of soup, their eyes shining with gratitude. But the true twist came weeks later, when Alexander uncovered the truth. The twins' mother had worked for his company years ago, a kind woman who had died suddenly, leaving her children with no one. The realization hit him like a wave. He had unknowingly crossed paths with the daughters of a woman who once helped build his dreams. Saving them wasn't an accident, it felt like destiny. The emotional climax came when the twins, still unsure of their worth, asked him timidly one night, "Will you send us away too?" Alexander dropped to his knees, tears brimming in his eyes, and said, "Never. From now on, you are my family." He adopted them both, giving them not just his wealth, but his heart. And so, the man once known for his coldness was changed forever by two little girls who trembled in the snow. Their love, their bond, and their courage reminded him and the world that true humanity isn't in riches or power, but in the kindness we choose when faced with someone else's suffering. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who believes kindness still exists, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the good still left in the world. The seasons passed, and the bond between Alexander and the twins grew unshakable. Lily, the elder sister, bloomed into a protective, thoughtful girl who excelled in school, always making sure Rose had what she needed. Rose, once timid and frail, grew confident under the warmth of Alexander's care, her laughter echoing through the halls of the mansion that had once stood silent as a tomb. Neighbors whispered in awe about the change in the stern millionaire. Where once his face was a mask of stone, now his eyes softened whenever the girls were near. Board meetings that used to stretch into the night ended earlier, because Alexander refused to miss dinner with his daughters. He was no longer driven only by profit but by purpose, a second chance at fatherhood, gifted by fate. One snowy evening, almost a year after that fateful night, Alexander walked hand in hand with Lily and Rose through the city's Christmas market. The lights twinkled, carols played, and the scent of roasted chestnuts filled the air. A passerby recognized him and whispered, "That's Alexander Carter, the ruthless shot a broken bar." But then they saw him kneel to tie Rose's shoelace and laugh at Lily's joke, and their whispers shifted. He's not the same man anymore. Back home, as the fire crackled in the hearth, Rose curled up in his lap and asked, "Daddy, what would have happened if you didn't find us that night?" Alexander's throat tightened. He pressed a kiss to her forehead and said, "Then my life would still be empty. You saved me as much as I saved you." The three of them embraced, their silhouettes glowing against the firelight. In that moment, the mansion wasn't just a house, it was a home, built not on wealth or power, but on love, trust, and the healing of broken hearts. And so the man once defined by loss and loneliness found redemption in the laughter of two little girls who had once shivered in the snow. Their story was proof that even in the coldest nights, warmth can be found, and sometimes, it comes in the form of family we never expected. If this ending made you feel something deep inside, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe for more powerful stories that remind us, love always finds a way.